Call the meeting of the Borough West Easton Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. That'll be led by our junior council member, Daniel Kohler.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. David?
Mr. James.
Here.
Mr. Dees.
Here.
Mr. Lewis. Mr. Romana.
Here.
Mr. Bolash. Here. Mr. Brainer.
Here.
Mr. Coker.
Before we move on, Jeff, Brian reminded courtesy of the floor.
No, I just wanted to, put this out there before we get the meeting away. I've been putting a lot of thought into this, talking with family. And I wanted to do this here in person, and then just put a letter in. But I think moving forward, I'm going to be stepping down in this position as a council member in West Easton Borough. It's been a privilege. It's been an honor. I thank everybody that supported me through this. I was just evaluating it at the time. I wish there was more time that I could put in, like some of you guys. I'm not here to knock anybody, but I think everybody has done a great job, and we've done some good things to benefit the borough. But I feel like I was just always in the back seat, and I didn't feel like I was contributing. So it's something that I thought about, and I think moving forward, I could take, I want to focus on putting pride in this borough as a resident in a different role, and I hope somebody will make a motion to kind of accept my resignation tonight.
Well, can I ask you a question? Are you resigning because you feel you're taking a back seat, or you just don't have time? Because I'm sure the president of the council could have assigned you a chair of the safety committee, which I'm handling right now.
No, I just feel the time. That's all.
I
said, I just wondered-
curious if it was just a feeling
No.
of contributing, or
I just feel like I wish I could. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes when I come in here and I hear the residents, and I know I still I'm young to this, but I just felt that what knowledge do I have? Am I just gonna have to wait more and more to contribute? And I just feel like I was contributing to helping some of the people in the borough. And that's just honestly how I felt, and it's not a great feeling. So, and if somebody has the time, then let them commit to it.
Let me add one thing, Jeff. It's like you said, you're on a learning curve,
Yes.
and I think you're doing a good job, and at least you can make it to the meetings, right? And from what you can gather between meetings, I think it could be helpful at the meetings, and I wish you would reconsider and stay on.
Like I said, it's something that I was torn about. Spoke with my wife, and we evaluated it, and this is something that I did put a lot of thought into. And like I said, I'm torn about it, and I know some people aren't happy about it, but I'm going to move forward with what's best for the family and go from there.
Jeff, are you able to still represent West Easton Borough at the Wilson Rec Board?
If we could rotate and
Okay.
communicate, I'll do my best.
Okay.
But as long as we communicate and we can work something out.
Well, then one more thing, Jeff, since it's the summertime, and things kind of slowed down a little bit, I just hope you would take another month to think about it and come back next month, or make a decisions between now and next month and send a letter in. But we're down to one meeting a month now, and I know your attendance is almost perfect, so I would hope you would delay it a little bit and give us some time over the summer month here, and then if you decide not to stay on, send a letter instead of making this decision tonight.
To me, it's more than just attending. So, but I know how hard it can be to find people, and I think there's people that are interested. And like I said, I apologize if I let anybody down. Anybody that's here tonight.
Well, have you submitted the letter yet?
No, I forgot to let.
Okay, so
I'm busy.
It has to be in writing.
yeah, it has to be in writing. So you got another month, and joking aside, it'll give you another month.
like I said, I wanted to come in, talk to you guys about it in person. I think everybody is all right than just, you know, that letter, but, I wouldn't feel comfortable voting on things moving forward in regards to if my place isn't gonna be there.
Well, you can tell by some of the comments that were made here that
I think,
All right, good job.
okay, we'll be talk.
Hmm?
We'll be talking about the representative. Again, I apologize to anybody that, you know, came out and supported me, and I appreciate all that support. Like I said, it's just feeling, so. I hope everybody understands, and, you know, continue to take pride as a resident here.
Sure.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys, enjoy the rest of your night, thank you for putting the time in that you guys have.
Thanks.
All right. Moving forward. Approval of payments, general fund checks, need a motion to approve checks 17,187 through 17,240.
I'll make it.
Second? Second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Online payments from general fund. We're going to say payment Act 004 through Act 0008. Need a motion to approve?
I'll make it.
All right, and a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of debit account payments. See the list is 511 through 610. Motion to approve. All right, second.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Finally, approval of sewer fund account checks 2084 through 2085. Motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. That's our four. I know. All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of deposits and receipts for May 2019. Motion to approve.
Make the motion.
All right. Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of minutes from May 13, 2019. Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion.
All right. And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of the treasurer's report. Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have a question for the treasurer. Carl, if you remember back to the beginning of this year, do we have? No, I don't remember back to this year. That's no good. On your treasurer's report in the beginning of this year, we had X amount of dollars. Do we have the same amount of dollars halfway through this year, equal, or more or less, if you can recall? We have more money now.
More money, more cash in hand now than we did at the beginning of the year.
Thank you.
Just collected taxes. I've got a comment on the treasurer's report.
Go ahead.
Draw your attention to notes 4 2005. There are 2 certificates of deposit that are going to mature here very shortly.
Right.
One in the general fund June 13th, and one in the sewer fund on June 20. I think Joan and I have been discussing it, and I think maybe the committee's discussed, I don't know what you're going to do. I just wanted to draw your attention to it.
It's our intention.
Anything's better than leaving it in a
Got it.
savings account.
It's our intention to
Okay.
roll them over. Thanks, Carl.
Fine.
Thanks for pointing it out. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, moving forward, appointment of a new council member. So we have two folks this evening that are vying for the seat of our new council member. First one, Janie Jones Brown. Everybody has the letter and has read the letter, and I'm not going to read the letter, but instead I'd like to invite Janie to provide. Yes, please. Yes, please. Name and address, rank, serial number, names of firstborns, and
Whoa,
I got it.
Sorry, my name is Janie Jones Brown. I live at 200 Lone Avenue. Just thank you for allowing me, giving me the opportunity to speak this evening. Over the last year, I've been transitioning from various leadership positions and really wanting to get involved more locally. I'm proud to represent West Easton as a committee woman for the Northampton County Democratic Committee. Over 20 years professionally, I've been a teacher. In addition to that, I've facilitated cooking clubs and outside art clubs, making murals and garden clubs. I like to get involved with everything. So, and also I've been involved with PTA, more bake sales than I can count. That's how I brought coffee cake the other day. That's what I love to do. I love to bake and share it. I've coached, I've done fundraisers for American User Library and the Lake Center. In my New Jersey Teachers Union work, I've done various committees, trainings, and advocacy work. Within the last 5 years, I've also been the chair for bylaws, not only for my local union, but also for American User Library. And anyone who knows anything about bylaws, that is not fun, fancy, exciting work, but I actually find it very interesting. My friends think I'm very strange. I do, especially ones that are very outdated. But I help to fix those and get those updated. Because we know that's really necessary, important work, just like the work you do here. It's very important. I pride myself on being extremely hardworking, positive, dedicated, enthusiastic. I teach first grade, so that's my thing. I'm kind of sometimes can be annoyingly enthusiastic and happy. People say, what are you so happy about? Like, I'm an educator, I'm a teacher. So that's, I know you're making what most people say, but they are the best little human beings to spend your days with. And just, I love working together to make things better. That's what I like to do. I'm a worker. Ask my husband. I'm always busy. One word he says to describe me is determined. That makes me not so easy to be married to sometimes, too, I would say. We love living in West Easton. It's been absolutely a wonderful place here for us to raise our 3 children. It's the best of both worlds. We have the convenience of living really close to all 3 Wilson schools, which we have a child in the high school, the middle school, and elementary right now, within walking distance, thank goodness. It's also, just a short drive to a grocery store. I grew up in Ribblesville, Pennsylvania, so I was on a bus one way, an hour one way, so it's very convenient. Yet we go in our backyard and we have deer and bunnies and gardens and a pool back there. You wouldn't even know, you're so close to everything. Over the last couple of years, I have really appreciated, and we've appreciated, the new sidewalks, for example, catty corner to where we live. It's wonderful because we walk our dog almost every single day. The egg hunt being revitalized, the newsletter coming every month again, Facebook posts, great communication from the borough office. If I call down here, I can always get a quick response and a friendly, kind response as well. I just thank you for allowing me to speak. I really look forward to serving and pitching in. I have done over the course of the past 20 years a lot of work in New Jersey. I'm a New Jersey teacher. So I'm driving often to Trenton This Saturday I was down in East Brunswick. So coming down here, literally I can walk to a meeting in less than 5 minutes and pitch in and help my own local community. It's very empowering and exciting. So thank you for your consideration. I appreciate it. Do you have any questions or?
Just say anybody have any questions for?
I'm not used to this much quietness. I'm the first I wasn't interrupted at all.
Well, I guess the only question I have, and it's because of my own personal experience, do you think you'll have the time? Because if you really get into this,
It's a lot of,
it takes, yeah.
I have to tell you, I was the president of my local union, and you probably think, wow, that's probably not a really big job, but I work in a very small district. So I was the board representative, I was the PTA representative, I was also the county representative, and the delegate assembly. So you're seeing what I'm going, I'm going with this. You can ask my husband. I am a very energetic person, without a doubt, and I'm extremely determined. And I feel like I have a fire in my belly. It gives me, I like a purpose in life, and I like to pitch in. And people who are very busy really allocate their time and really know what they need to do. He should be nodding his head over there. I'm exhausted because we're definitely opposites. No, I definitely he's very mellow, mellows me out. I recognize it's going to be a big time. It's going to be a lot of time. I'm willing to learn. When I was on Mary Muser Library, redoing the bylaws and then taking over as fundraising, which that was a big job as well, along with being my union president at the same time and also on the negotiations team, and I could go on and on and on. But as they say, people who do the most, they're busy, they figure out a way to do it if you want to do it, so.
I'm surprised you had time to see her.
He does.
Are there
I'm using baking, that's where he finds me in the kitchen.
Are,
Thank you.
are there things in the borough that you like?
The last couple of years I've really liked, especially the ed hunt coming back and really getting a facelift. I'd like to really be involved with that. I'm very excited too about the police force starting up. When we first lived here, we had Easton police, and I'd be out doing my flower beds and they would stop by and say, hey, how are you? And just that connection. State troopers, over the years, we live right by the trestle, and I know, Joan, you were wonderful and said you can call down here. Kids like to play on those trestles. That has stopped the last year or so. I haven't seen that as much. That's terrifying, not to be able to have someone really to call. So police force, I'd love to help out with that and community activities, and I'd love to learn.
Are there things that you think need improvement?
I would love to, when I walk, we have a dog, as I've said before, and we like to walk around the neighborhood. I just would like to know more of my neighbors, even more. That's originally why I started coming to these meetings the last couple months, because I said I want to see what's going on, because I liked what I've been seeing lately. So I think just like the icon, more community, maybe do something like that. We do something in my school, it's called Picnic on the Playground. And everyone kind of comes out to the playground and hangs out, and that's it. We just get to know people and see each other, kind of more old-fashioned sort of things.
All right. Anybody else? Thank you. Our second applicant was our junior council member, Nathaniel Colbert. I'm going to mess up this guy's name. Everybody's kind of had a chance to read through Nathaniel's summary. I can vouch for Nathaniel's outstanding job at the 248 Donner. He's a phenomenal person there, and always good to see you there. So, Nathaniel, you want to give us a few words on your behalf?
It's weird being over here. So I just want to say that most of you know that I obtained my Eagle Scout 2 years ago. Since I've obtained that, I have been working very much with the Transatlantic Council over in Europe. I've been working at their summer camps. This year I will be working in Umag, Croatia, at Camp Avantera as the business manager. As Mr. James said, I am working at Donner 248 currently, and I will be attending Meridian College in the fall. one of the biggest things that I feel Mr. Dees will be bringing up is timing. I have actually looked into my schedule. I've been able to I can maneuver so that I will have time for this council and also time for the borough.
Do you have anybody have any questions for Nathaniel? We get to ask questions first. Yes, you may.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Is there an age limit that anybody can apply? 18. 18. I was just curious.
No, it's a good question. Thank you. That's a great question.
Voting.
I'm sorry?
Voting.
What are you? She's an adult.
If you're attending the college in the fall, are you commuting then?
Yes.
You said you still have time. You
Yep.
still have time.
I'll be committed.
If you were a council person, what would you do to make things a little better? You've been sitting on the council for a little while now, right?
Yes, and as a junior council member, you can't really vote on any topics. You can voice your opinion a little bit, especially with like trestle. That was really the first time that I really brought out concerns, because I do know some friends that they've gone on the trestle and they have fallen and gotten hurt. I wanted to see that stopped, and I voiced my opinion.
How does your leadership lend to your this role here? How's your leadership as an Eagle Scout lend to this role?
My leadership role, especially in Scouts in general, it allows me to adapt to changing environments, especially here in the council. It's new people in the borough every day, voicing concern for the borough. And I feel that with that experience, I could voice unique opinions that maybe some of the older generation here might not think of.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions for Nathan? Thanks. Let's move forward. So the next process, or the next part of this process, is a nomination. We need a nomination for Jamie Jones Brown. So we'll nominate and then we'll vote.
I'd like to nominate Jane Jones Brown
Okay.
for a seat on council.
All right, I have a nomination. So we're going to move to vote, and Dave, roll call.
Well, actually, this is a pitfall that everybody is caught on. It's the two-step process.
Okay.
We got to do the nomination, then you close the nominations, then you do the votes.
All right. So
Which catches everybody, because nobody remembers this.
nominate.
So no, so the nomination's been open, we have somebody
All
nominated.
right.
Now, the next question is, does anybody want to make another nomination, or do we want to close the nominations?
All right. Does anybody want to make another nomination for Nathan? Okay, sure.
So now it's weird, so now somebody makes a motion to close the nomination.
All right. A motion to close the nomination.
I'll make a motion to close the nomination.
I need a second,
I'll second.
and I need a vote.
You don't need a second to nominate.
And then even though there's only one person nominated, now you have to vote on them.
We need a vote for Jamie Jones Brown for council. Dave, let's do a voice vote.
Mr. Volash,
Yes.
Mr. Romana,
Yes.
Mr. Dees,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can Dan?
Yeah, you want to come over and take your seat, I'll swear you in.
Yeah.
Come back.
Can you write the folder as you're
Raise your right hand.
All right, sorry.
Library board.
I, Janie Jones Brown,
I, Janie Jones Brown,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support.
obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
Oh, it's a long one. Obey and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
And I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
And I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I just add that when Janie put her application in, she didn't realize she was getting paid?
Listen, I've given you all, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Give me a little gift card, but it's library coffee and stuff. Most of my things are negative dollars, not.
Is there any kind of packet left over from last month or this month? With,
We should get this piece right there, right?
So that this month is all.
How about Jeff's?
I didn't see that, sorry, Dave.
So I use that for-
No, we used somebody to swear in, so we made an issue.
Yeah, that's right.
Jane, you'll have your name on that next month.
Yay, yeah.
I'm gonna open it up now for public comment.
Flip it over to see if there's
Oh,
Bill Smith from 93.5 Main Street, West Easton. And the monument looks good over here, but there was one question I had. I think it should be handicapped so you can get in there.
Oh, well, one of the phases we're gonna do next is actually to put sidewalks
Good.
around
Yeah.
with the handicap
Yeah, yeah.
ramps, yeah. That-
Very good job.
Yeah, thank you.
And the next thing is with the laundromat over here. Did you find anything out about the overhead door that he put in?
I haven't heard
He said it
anything.
was, our engineer said they were strictly for deliveries, right? That's the email that.
He said it was a pull-in. Have you seen anything other than pull-in? If they pull in versus using it as a dock where they would back up and be blocking the street,
Yeah.
that's gonna be okay.
My question is, why did he need that when he got a loading dock in the back?
I have no idea how he has it sectioned off inside.
There was a house in front of me that I bought, and I wanted to turn in apartments, and they said you need off-street parking and all. And he seemed to get away with murder. With that, even with that link coming out, it's still coming out.
It isn't.
I talked to a guy that had the laundromat up there in Wilsonboro, where they did uniforms and that. That is not allowed.
Okay, the link is still coming out then?
Yes.
Okay.
What's all over the building yet?
We can look into that.
I mean, he's gotta be fined or something.
If it, I know we said it before, but if it, if you call us in the middle of the week or whatever, we could probably address these things before the meeting, you know.
I come up a lot to address that. The only thing that should be coming out of that is hot air.
Right.
He's got a lint, it's blowing all over.
Exactly right.
And it's been a year now I've been complaining about
And so the other thing with the garage door that they put in,
it. Yeah.
are they loading, unloading there, or are they?
I haven't seen him yet, he didn't take the pipe out from where the fence was. But I know the employees, you're gonna see them parking there and going in, and I don't think it's right. If I can't have an apartment, turn a place into apartments, he's got a whole lot there loading docks, and he got a load on the public street.
Why can't you turn your building into apartments?
You need two off-street parking spots.
Or you apply for variance, right?
That's the rule, and,
That's, yeah.
Bill,
But,
you have a point about the lint, and hot air should be the only thing coming out of that
Mhm.
building. I agree with that. And the zoning officer's gotta be reminded of that also. But the parking, he's got a parking lot on the side there.
it's empty all the time.
Well, he has off-street parking, that's the point.
Yeah, but see where the workers start parking. They'll be parking out in the street just like down here at the DUI center. I got tired of complaining about it. They still park there, and there's a loading area back there. They're supposed to be behind the building.
Well, Joe, I think what we're saying is, the requirement is you have to have the parking.
Yeah.
Unless there's a specific restriction, they can park anywhere they want, they can park on the street.
Mhm.
It's annoying if that's what's happening. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't, I'm not saying it isn't, I don't know any better, but I think we all understand your concern. The problem is if they meet the requirements for parking, there's nothing that mandates that they have to actually utilize that parking lot. Unless it says in their approvals, and it's rare that it ever does.
Does that zoning guy have to come back to you after you submit something to him and answer that he used, instead of pushing this stuff through? There's a lot of places that were approved for businesses, there's not him, I don't think he knows what he's doing.
The report should go to the office and then to the council members. I
But
don't know.
again, remember when we tried before, and we got up there and never did nothing?
Well, then, that's when the lawyer should go in there and see what's going on.
But if he submits, you know, like, he built a garage door and he submits it and everything is on the up and up, then there's very little we can do. He submits a plan, it meets all the requirements, it meets all the code requirements, and he does that, then there's, you know, there's very little we can do in response to that, because
You watch this thing in 5 months or 4 months, if I don't come back here again, and you're gonna see trucks loading up on the street.
then we're gonna have to do something about it, and we'll have police department.
Well, how about the lint? The lint's still coming out, that was only temporarily, and then it's still coming out.
We'll continue to bother them and make sure that they, you know,
That must be an old machine, because even dryers in your homes now, you go to the laundromat, they got big dryers. The machine will shut off, and you, as a customer, you gotta empty the thing in the bucket if nobody done it. He's emptying it out to the community.
How's the noise up there?
The noise is better.
Gone or just better?
Oh, it's a lot better. It ain't gone.
The loud airplane noise isn't gone?
No, yeah, that's gone.
No.
let us look into the land,
Okay.
let us get a hold of Vinnie and, you know, make sure.
Yes.
He's usually pretty good about it. I know that it hasn't been great, but he's, you know, he's trying.
Well, I seen him slip things by the zoning guy. It's against the law what he approved with some things. I don't even want to mention them. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
If he's having a problem with his lint filtration system, don't you think that could be a fire hazard? Because I know when the gas company came in to change my gas meter in my house downstairs, they told me that they red tagged my dryer because I had an old plastic tube from the dryer to the outside, and they gave me aluminum one that had to be replaced. Because they said it was a fire hazard. But if he's having problems with his filtration for the lint, that could be a dangerous problem.
Especially since it's blowing out too, so let us look into that.
Is it possible that the fire chief can get down there and look at that?
We'd have to talk to, you know, talk to
Bill?
him about that, yeah, talk to Bill and see what he says about that.
Well, I see him every now and then, I'll talk to him.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Any other public comment? Yes, Carl.
Yeah. Carl Pearson, 9th Street. I want to thank council for the Memorial Day program. Very nice, very respectful. I think it's been continuing now for about 25 years, I believe. Very nicely done, especially the, what's it called, the broken column. Extremely nice. And the little insert in the program that described what the broken column was very nice, very nice. So thank you very much. I hope it continues. And I'd like to give a thank you to Dave. I'm pretty sure that he probably did most of the organizing from what I know, and a job well done. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Any more public comment? Have we got Beth?
Yeah.
From Valor Clinic Foundation?
Yeah, everyone. Let's thank Joan. She's my go-to person. Her and I go back and forth on Facebook. She likes to post my stuff to the West Easton Facebook page. So if you see anything for Valor Clinic Foundation, it's thanks to her. So thank you very much and for having me tonight. I know, obviously, we're, you know, a public committee, and the Valor Foundation is for veterans. So I just wanted to come out tonight so that you guys can see, like, I can tell you what she's posting, what I'm all about, I guess you can say. We are a foundation. We are strictly run by fundraisers, grants, and volunteers. We have one paid employee. We call her our house mother because there was actually a clinic, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Poconos, up in Jonas, PA, up on the other side of Beltsville, where we house up to 13 homeless or in-need veterans at a time. So she is, they call her the house mother. She runs everything from making sure that the 13 veterans staying there have breakfast on the table to the fact that they are signed up for educational classes that they might need. So I just wrote a little thing, because if I don't, I miss 5 million things, and then you guys have like 5 million questions, so I just kind of go through everything. So the Valor Foundation is a nonprofit organization run by fundraisers, grants, and volunteers. Our mission is to help veterans honorably discharge that have served our country with life challenges, PTSD, physical disabilities, even family disability, or family counseling. We do everything as a no-cost program to veterans. We help them file everything from their benefits to accessing care at the Veterans Hospital to military affiliations. We have a program called Veterans Unstoppable, which is a confidential program for our veterans. They can go to, we have, right now we currently have retreat programs. We just had one at Pocono Environmental Center up in the Poconos. Right now we still have to rent places to do it at. And what it is that we have counselors, psychiatrists, just veterans who have been through it themselves. They run a program, it's a weekend long, Friday to Sunday, where they go, they camp out, they use cabins, tents, whatever. It's kind of like just a bonding experience. We also have peer counseling one-on-one with counselors and other veterans who have been through the program. We do a Hope for the Homeless program in East Stroudsburg. We have one here in the Lehigh Valley. The one we do in the Lehigh Valley is the 4th Saturday of every month. We are in Easton across from Safe Harbor we set up. We go to Bethlehem, the New Bethany Church, and we go to the Allentown Rescue Mission. What that is that we supply food, hygiene products, a hot meal, clothing, and we reach out to all homeless or in need, because we've learned over the years that if we don't reach out to the entire community, we don't get the veterans in. If we reach out to just the veterans, they're too proud to come. So it is a community event that we reach out to all in hopes that we can help our veterans within the community that are homeless and in need. We also do a holiday meal drive, which I'm going to throw out. I'd like to thank Jenny and her husband. I recently met them for Easter because they saw the Facebook page that Joan put out and reached out and helped supply meals for some of our veterans. We do it 3 times a year for Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. We're always looking for businesses, other organizations to help out. We've got churches that help out. We have some businesses that reach out. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Blue Star Mothers. They love to come out and help. And what it is that, for instance, for Easter, we supplied 140 veterans families throughout the Poconos, the Lehigh Valley, Reading. This year we reached as far up as Scranton and as far down as Percy, Pennsylvania. We had one in Ohio and one in New Jersey as far as we went. We usually stay within like the Reading area as far as we go. But we had 140 families who were in need, meaning that they had the choice of whether they wanted to have a meal for their family for Easter or do they pay their electric bill. Our goal is to take that worry off the table for them and try to help them out. Like I said, we do have a facility up in Jonas, Pennsylvania, where they do everything from skills building to learning to eat nutritiously. They recently, thank you to a very popular family that helps out St. Luke's Hospital a lot, they actually donated money and a grant for us to buy some acreage up in Kidder Township in Carbon County. where we are actually opening our own retreat property. They will be building a home. They will have what we're calling the Memorial Mile. So if anybody here has a son or daughter or loved one that has passed away due to PTSD, please reach out to me for that too. They are actually looking for donations. You make a donation and there's actually going to be a giant granite stone in this lovely color on the property that will list everybody who has passed. Everybody who makes a donation, whether it's $5, $500, we will put your loved one's name on that board so that you can go somewhere and have their name memorized. So I have some pamphlets that I can pass out, or you guys can grab. I'll set them back here. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to reach out. If any of you are veterans, I thank you very much for your service. We're always looking for volunteers, like I said, ways to help. It can be as simple as, being on the back burner, like Jamie and her husband, they just kind of reached out, what do you need? And on your location, we're not real huge in the Lehigh Valley yet. They're mostly in the Poconos still. So we're trying to get more organizations, more businesses involved down here in the Lehigh Valley. That's how I started. I work for Coordinated Health, and every year we adopt something for the Christmas holidays, adopt a family, adopt a classroom. So 2 years ago, we adopted the Valor Clinic. And I said, what do you need for the holidays? And she said, I need holiday meals. And I kind of got sucked in ever since. And it's a lot. I don't know, I recognize some of you. I live right over on Spring Street, so I hightailed it over here. Some of you may see me in passing. Bill, I probably walk past your house 5 times a week because I'm the one Steve walking around trying to get some exercise because I sit at a desk all day. But please, if you ever have any questions, my name and phone number are on the brochures, so are the numbers for the clinic. Please feel free to contact me, look me up on Facebook, stop by ringing the doorbell, tell my husband to put on pants if he answers it with no on, please. He has a tendency to do that. A couple of months ago, the state trooper knocked on the door and at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, put on pants. But, if you see me walking, please don't hesitate to stop me if you have any questions. Like I said, it was just an opportunity to get the word out. Last week I was at a ladies auxiliary meeting at one of the American Legions. If anybody belongs to the, hopefully not screw this up, Post 9, Palmer American Legion, they are wonderful. They've known about Valor for many years now. They are actually helping us host a big event in November, which, knock on wood, hasn't really cost us much of anything because they've reached out and they're supplying the hall for free. There's the Ladies Auxiliary is supplying snacks. The Legion itself members are supplying the drinks. The Legion riders are supplying something else. So, we try to get other organizations and the community involved. So I just wanted to reach out today because I know Joan's been posting a lot of stuff for me lately. We have a lot of great events coming up this summer. If anybody rides a motorcycle, we have motorcycle rides coming up. In November, if anybody likes blues music, we have a blues event coming up. So I just wanted the opportunity to reach out to everybody and say thank you.
How do we keep up with how do we keep up with Valor?
Easton, we do have a website, but it's not the most up to date. But they do have a Facebook page, which is just the Valor Clinic Foundation. We post everything from upcoming events to if something spectacular happened that day. We have a team of 3 gentlemen who the VA or other organizations will contact us and why they, for instance, the VA supplies housing, but they don't supply furniture. So we have a whole team of guys who help supply furniture. We have sheds. Everybody always asks them, well, what do you need as far as furniture? The response is always storage. Because our sheds are busting at the seams with furniture items that are donated. And our team goes out, they load up a box truck, and they deliver furniture items to the vet that's been placed, or the whole family that's been placed in an apartment or a house. And they're just, it's a spectacular team. They'll post pictures of that like, you know, Army Sergeant so-and-so was placed in a house today thanks to our furniture team. They post everything. So it's pretty amazing. Our founder is Mark Bayless. He was an Army Sergeant. And everybody, a lot of our volunteers are veterans. A lot of our volunteers have somebody who has been affected by PTSD. For instance, myself, I had a cousin who I heard stories about how wonderful and outgoing he was as a child. He was a little bit older than I was, and how he came back from Vietnam a completely different person. And he was completely antisocial. Great guy, but I had a friend in high school who did 2 tours in Afghanistan, came home only to overdose on sleeping pills. And that was 10 years ago, and so he was in his late 20s when he did it. So it's, almost everybody that's a volunteer is affected by it somehow. Not that that's a reason that you have to be, believe me, we'll take anybody. But, you know, everybody has a reason or has a love for it. It's a wonderful group of people that are involved in it. Front runners, back burners, you know, every little bit helps.
You said you're across from Safe Harbor. I don't know how many people know where Safe Harbor is. You're not talking on Bushville Drive.
We are, yes. The oil company that's down there
Yes.
actually allows us to set up in their parking lot.
Oh, that's what I was wondering, because I didn't know exactly where you meant.
Oh, yeah, down at Safe Harbor, there's the oil company that's right, like, diagonal from it. They are actually nice enough that they allow us the 4th Saturday of every month at 10 o'clock to set up down there. We're usually there for like an hour and a half. We put out folding tables full of clothes, hygiene supplies, food items that have been donated. Everybody who comes through, veteran or non, they have to sign up with one of our volunteers. They get escorted around. We mark off what they need because, you know, for tax purposes, we have to count what comes in and count what goes out, you know. We try to supply them with a hot meal, or in the summertime, sandwiches, something fresh. And then we've gotten a few of our veterans that have come to our clinic and actually gone through our program, through our homeless outreach programs.
Well, I'd like to thank your organization and your volunteers and veterans that help out. I just think it's wonderful that there's something out there for veterans that have a hard time coming back and dealing.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you.
Can you bring donated items down there on that Saturday?
Absolutely. 4th Saturday of every month.
What time again?
We set up at 10 o'clock. If it's anything more than like clothing or food, like if it's furniture items, we ask that you contact a volunteer or the house because we don't always have room to put them on the truck. Or if it's a big item, because we do all 3 stops for the Lehigh Valley in one day.
Okay.
We set up, like I said, in Easton. We pack back up. We set up in Bethlehem. We pack back up, and we go to Allentown. So from 10 to 2, we're in 3 locations. So the woman who runs the Lehigh Valley stand down, I say she's like a well-oiled ship. off, one stop in and out, one stop in and out. You know. But yeah, absolutely. Or you can contact me. I'm up there 2-3 times a month. So.
What kind of food items do you look for?
Mostly non-perishable. Because what they do is, we do 2 types of bags that we'll give out. If it's a veteran who is in need but has a home and has access to a microwave or stove, we'll package those type of items in one type of bag and give that to them. If it's a veteran who is truly homeless, they don't have access to those things, so we try to give them things that have like the pop-top cans. Recently, Joan was helping me out with this. We collected spoons. Everybody said, what do you need spoons for? Metal spoons, teaspoons, tablespoons, because when you are truly homeless and your only way to cook is over a fire, you want a metal spoon to stir with. If you don't have a pop-top can, you can actually open a can with a spoon. So they did a spoon drive. The goal was 500 spoons. We collected like 5,000. It was insane. We ran out of room to put spoons. Who knew you needed that much room for spoons? But yeah, they'll make up 2 different kinds of bags. One for truly homeless. Anything with a pop top, anything non-perishable. I know right now our big need is like canned or prepackaged meats, like tuna fish, Spam, things like that, to go in the bags that go out to the homeless.
Okay.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you guys so much for having me tonight.
You left us some brochures and stuff.
I will, yes, I will leave you brochures.
All right.
Thanks.
Engineering report?
I was going to cover that in grants.
Okay. Office report?
First, I'd like to thank his wife for picking up the dead cat.
Okay.
I'll leave with that.
Well,
Well, it was, because
it
instead
was
of
very
everybody
nice.
over, if anybody's on Facebook, his wife saw a dead cat, and let everybody know and took care of it. She's gonna get it cremated.
Emotionally
So-
draining, and she's driving around the dead cat.
But she did just keep going, I thought that was pretty good.
She did finally find a final resting place
Yeah.
for
I
her.
thought that was nice. You have somewhere here, the insurance rates. Matt and I met with Brown and Brown. They came up with a new company that deals mainly with municipalities. You can see the difference with our new people would be $11,062. This does not count what they think would be about $50 for the pole barn building, so they didn't have that included. Compared to 17, it does not include the police yet, because we don't know. It includes the police contents, but not the actual people.
Would you like to move forward with this?
Well, we have to let them know. And if you look down, you can see the old one has $3 million, this one has $5 million. The deductible is a little bit higher, right? Some of the stuff is deductible $250, deductible $500.
That's good.
But
That's
it's the
great.
things.
But
No, I mean, it is higher, but it's
We're
not.
saving $6,000.
Right.
Well, I'd like to suggest, there's part of this that needs to be discussed in executive session, because we'll have to discuss with the attorney. It's called the retro,
Yeah, right.
what was the name of that, retro insurance or something. Basically, if we go with the new provider, how many years back do we want the new provider to give us coverage for something that may have happened when they weren't covering us?
But this already includes 32 years of going, it goes back to 1987.
7.
Yeah, the new guy does. But we could get a rider with the old company to put with that if we thought there would be a problem. That's what I sent to Steve. I don't know if you had a chance to-
So I'd like to take a look at that, and then when we come out of executive session, we decide.
All right.
Are you guys doing CDs?
Yes.
Okay, and that's it.
Do we have any policies, resolutions, or ordinance for this? Solicitor's report.
I have nothing other than executive session, potential litigation, or litigation.
Okay. All right, so my report, I wanted to echo, Carl stole some of my thunder already, but I would like to echo Carl's beautiful comments on Memorial Day celebration or services. It's really, truly, really good. And you guys really put out you guys did a lot of hard work to make it, good, and it's really high quality. Top it off by our statue out there. It really turned out good this year, I think.
Matt did the insert, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, the insert was cool. The mayor kept the short speech. I was expecting we'd be out there for a while. Thanks, kid. Well, I think I ran out of people in that kind of probably, but thanks. It was really good. I'd also like to remind council folks that to continue to poke into that big, huge book, and I need my goal was to have that done in May, so May's almost over. So I'd like to get that through as soon as possible. And also, there's always training available at the PSAB site. If you're not familiar with that, let us know and we'll get you there. But there's webinars and there's always training available if you're interested in any of those pieces as well. So that's all I got. Mayor's report.
I'll keep this one short too. As some people know, I secured 2 police cars from Palmer Township at no charge, but there was a hitch. They both needed some work. So I started with the Ford Crown Victoria. And the reason why we got that is because it was either the steering box or the linkage or the universal joints that connect everything, upper and lower, to the steering. So before we started to work on it, I called Nazareth Ford. I gave them the VIN number. I asked them if this car has ever had a recall. They said yes, for the steering. So instead of looking at $1,500 to $2,000 in parts and labor, they fixed it at no charge. And if you have any questions about anything else, feel free to ask me. That's it.
That's it? Thanks, Dan. Anything for the roundtable?
Yeah, one thing just to remind council, and I reviewed the videos I've taken back in March of 2016. It was determined back then when a council person back then had a plumber come in and do the bathrooms and, just said, go ahead, come in and do it. And March 2016, we all agreed, the ones that were here, that a council person or anyone else can't take it upon themselves except for the borough manager. If you see a problem, just a reminder to council people and the mayor, if you see a problem that you think needs to be fixed, it was already determined that you go to the borough manager and you say, there's a tree falling down and we need to get a guy in here. I know a guy that can do it for $600. You go to Joan, and Joan makes a decision to get these things fixed. If it's worth the cost, if it's an emergency, to do it right then. We've got to refrain from just calling up somebody and saying, fix that faulty circuit in the light, or fix that light bulb for $100. So just a reminder to council, borough manager is supposed to make those decisions unless it's an emergency. Possibly you could call Paul James, but don't take it upon yourself to do that. That's it.
The only other thing is, for you, Danny, we'll assign you committee responsibilities. So each of us takes care of, or sets on one of three committees. So three committees. So we'll, but I'll get with you afterwards and see if we want to change anything around. Since Jeff left right now.
Public safety.
Yeah. You chaired, Desiree chaired public safety.
Yeah.
She was also on the finance and legal, and chaired public safety. So those are three. But I know you may have had some other interests, so we'll discuss those afterwards. And then moving right into committees reports.
Excuse me, Paul, I just would like to get something up at the round table as well.
No.
Listening to Mr. Smith again, I think this town needs to go in the direction that Nazareth has gone with the code enforcement officer who's in town 2-3 times a week.
Okay.
And not somebody who's, I believe, is in Quakertown. I looked at that zoning book again, or zoning ordinance, and the laundromat, for example, should have had a conditional use hearing. It might be a special exception. It's one or the other.
Right.
But he just handed that out, and that started the ball rolling, and it's not a good thing what happened. A couple of comments that this person's made to me about neighbors' permission and things tells me the concept of zoning, and to paraphrase the MPC, that the personality of an individual could never have anything to do with public safety, health, and welfare. Neighbors never have anything to do, but yet that was one of the first things he said to me, so that was a concern to me. Dan, I spoke with about this several weeks ago. He said there was somebody that he had in mind that used to do it here, but somebody really needs to step up. And it's just not, I don't think it's working out who we have now. It's just not working at all. And these people come down here and express their concerns, and we just keep going around and around in a circle. I hear comments made about variances that make me cringe, because unless you just buy a property, and the law has been changed to make your property unusable, and not unusable for what you want to do with it, unusable for, the uses by right, variances shouldn't be given out. They should be scarce.
But a variance goes to a zoning board.
I understand that. That means that those people need to be trained as well. It's very frustrating. I know my wife sat on a zoning board. She went through the same training as the others did years ago. She was the only one that kind of got, what a hardship it was and what hard case it is. It's the first test they give you. It's everybody fails it because it's too much point.
What happened about the trees that were cut down along the barrier of residential and commercial?
We can discuss that in a second.
Anything else, Dave?
No,
Good, thank you. No, that's good. Committee reports. Our Finance Committee met on 21st of May, and what we discussed was the maturing of our two CDs, the sewer and our general fund CD, which are maturing. We would like to roll them over, and we agreed on the amount of $250 for the sewer and $250 for the general fund. You have in your packet the obligate information, which is most current information for the interest rates on those at a 2.6. For 18 months.
18 months, 1 year.
A year.
Was it 1 year and 2?
1 year. We have here is 1 year or 2 year.
They took about 1 year and 2.
1 year or 2 year, yeah.
And Lafayette actually is higher than them right now. That's 25 months.
Lafayette is 25 months.
What page you got?
Right there. Yeah.
I saw them looking at something else, I was looking at the wrong one.
I'm gonna tie up money for 25 months of it.
Yeah, so something says Lafayette, 25 months.
25 month CD from Lafayette is 2.75 right now. The 2 year loan from Leggett is
2.6.
2.5, no, 2.55.
All right, well, the Lafayette is adjustable prime rate, so it's gonna change every month, because
Annual percentage rate.
annual percentage rate, okay. All right.
But if we just want to keep it in there because it's already in there, just tell them to roll it over. But just for when we do the resolution, it won't be 250, it's more like 243, just because with the interest and
Right.
principal can't go
So,
over 250
right, can't
anymore.
go over 250. So that's we want to make sure we have that clear.
Now, we already have two that are in 2 years, our suggestion, and some might want to do, but these two are 1 year, that way you're staggering when they come due. Instead of 4 at one time, it'll be.
I think that's a great idea. And that's what that was our Finance Committee's suggestion, that we use Pliget. It was, we had good luck with them so
This is the
far.
first time there's been something higher locally,
Yeah.
because like David didn't call to make sure we could do it, but for those of you that have money, we're going to invest it.
Right. There you go. So those are our options. But we have to, the Finance Committee, and Carl also pointed out that our CDs will mature soon. And we don't want to just leave in a savings account drawing 0.5% interest. We want to roll them into a CD so that we can take advantage of these interest rates.
Okay, so one is a 1-year CD, the other one is a 2-year CD. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
That's the rate available as of today for, quote, 250,000.
That's Lafayette.
No, it's one is Pacific Western Bank, and the other one, the 2-year one, is First Internet Bank of Indiana. So we're deciding if we're putting the money into a 1-year or a 2-year?
1 year, 2 year.
And then where? 1 year, 2 year. So, 1 year, 2 year where?
I think if you do 1 year, probably would be a separate bank for the second CD, just because you don't have more than 250 because of the FDIC insurance. So that's what that rate is.
One for Lafayette, one for...
Well, I think it's 2 years though. So if you want to stick to 1 year, I would say.
No, I see what you mean.
One of them would theoretically be this one, and then there'd probably be another one similar.
Okay. That's what you gave us here, right? We have two banks here. We have Merrick Bank and Sana Bank.
Yeah, it's all from Pliget. I asked them for the best rates for today. They change daily, could be
Right.
something totally different tomorrow, but as of today, this was the best rate for a 1 year CD and the best year for a 2 year CD. And they do see they have a gross rate and a net rate, because they do charge a percentage, but it still makes it higher than the local banks, other than Lafayette.
All right, so again, our committee recommended Pliget. We don't have to stick with them. We can use Lafayette. It's a little bit better interest rate, but it's for 25 months, right? So we can get 1 year from Pliget around 260. Our target was 250 for sewer and 250 for general fund, but we have to invest lower so that at maturity it's at 250.
And they're approximately 243.
Yes. So,
Can you make a motion to invest approximately 243, which whatever keeps it under the 250 cap? Is that a
yes.
doable motion?
If we make a motion to, so it's the finance committee, I'm going to step out. I'd like to ask for a motion for commit funds of $243,000 for CD, and I'd like to take advantage of Pliget's rates for 1 year, 1 year CD for each.
I'll make that motion.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and we've had some discussion. Does anybody have any further questions?
I guess I'm so new, I would abstain, correct? No, I can vote.
You
I mean, I know I can officially vote,
you've been presented all of the information.
So it's your choice. If you feel like you're not comfortable voting, you can
but just so.
But you're all right. So Carl did indicate up front that our current CDs will expire June 13th and 20th. So we don't roll them. They just go right. They'll roll
I
right
recognize
into
you have
it.
to do it, I just was,
Okay.
thank you.
No. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
I guess I'll say yes.
Aye.
Since we have to do it.
All opposed? All right. As far as the finance committee goes, we'll probably hold off on scheduling a meeting this month. So I want to move on to property and highway. Dave?
Well, I came down here a little concerned as to why that fountain wasn't on, but I was happy to find out it was only because of the circuit breaker.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be fixed. David told me, Dane's not here, I couldn't ask him, but I guess we still didn't submit the third and final payment yet, so that should give us some leverage to get it done. It looked really good Thursday when Matt Ed finally got in there and put the power in. Matt, do you know anything more about it?
Yeah, circuit breaker isn't really the problem. It was being tripped because the motor was overheating. Joan is holding back $3,000 of the final payment. It's the pump itself. When it first started running, I would hear it come on for 10 seconds, off for 10 seconds, and it just kept repeating that cycle. That was heating up the pump and drawing too much power. That was what was stripping the circuit. Now, with this contract we had with the landscapers, I think that pump is guaranteed for 2 years. It's going to be fixed. Daniel's Landscaping is coming down. They're going to get that pump working right. So it's not so much circuit breakers the pump. It's an $800 pump, which is why we've got it guaranteed for a couple of years. So they're gonna fix it.
So what is it? It's actually a pump motor then?
It's the pump motor or the float. They're going to check it out. Either it's a faulty motor or the float that tells the motor when to draw water. The company is apparently claiming, according to Daniels, the company that made the motor, saying, oh, the water draining is creating waves inside the pond, and that's setting the pump on. And he's not buying it, so he thinks it's probably the motor. But it's covered.
Is that motor going to require them to rip a lot of that out?
No.
No,
That's the motor that sits, the reservoir requires maybe 2 or 3 of those stones to come up. It's a small reservoir that sits below the pea gravel. But when you take those out, it's not a big project. It isn't like you have to take the lineman off and get in there. No,
That's good.
yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to discuss as far as scheduling meetings go? This is usually the property here, I see a lot of the road work done.
Well, actually, that's something we probably should want a meeting for. Is I think we're going to try to get the roads properly done, at least a few of them, over a 7-year plan. That's supposed to start pretty soon. So I may want to set up a meeting on that.
So what night, Pete?
I'm good any night, so it's up to you guys.
Pete, what looks good? This month, I think I'm okay for just about Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, except for this Wednesday. Should be all right.
What'd you say, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, except
This
not
week?
this Wednesday and not the 27th, which is a Thursday.
What day's good for you then?
It doesn't matter.
About the 19th.
The 19th, yeah, it's fine.
What time?
Time's good for you, man. Pete. I
Anytime.
mean, I'm on by like 4:35 latest.
For me, it's anytime after 5.
So what's good early, like 6? Is that good? 5:30?
5:36.
5:30?
Mm.
Is that good? 5:30?
Yeah.
So that's the 19th to 5:30.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Public safety personnel. Do you want to speak on public safety personnel?
Oh, well, actually, now would probably be a good time to hear from Mr. Mahady in the back.
Really?
With the, to see how he's feeling about the progress of the police station and equipment.
Well, I don't think they put computers in, but we had, Kurt Scott was saying there was a delay on some delivery of things, so he just texted me about 3 minutes ago, asking for some information they need to get into Microsoft, so I believe that's happening this week. I did ask him that. That'll kind of make things roll a little quicker, I think. The topics this week have been, last week have been the RMS, the RMS again. There's no police department that doesn't have an RMS. I kind of think we're going to have to try it without it, because it's unreasonable. I know I repeated the conversation before, but I went to 3 classes, Open World, these are companies, Open World, which is what the county uses. Nobody has bought into it. I was all for it, but they say it's a 9 to 12 month start date. So if we wait for something to start with that RMS, it delays everything. I kind of think that doesn't make sense. There's another company called Cody, another company called Metro Alert. Metro, I went to both of their meetings. One at Lafayette for 2 days, and that was Open World Lafayette. The other one was over here at Bethlehem Township. They're good systems, but it'd be probably like they're looking at like $7,000 to get onto their system. And she said she would let me know if somebody, the representative said, they let me know if somebody like Palmer Township is the only one that's using it right now that would let us piggyback on their license so it would cut the expense.
So, but we can do this on paper.
I think we have to. I think we have to. It's making it much more work. I just talked to the chief at Wilson today about this. Like he says he can't imagine doing it that way, but it started that way. It's what it was when I started as a police officer, so it's not impossible. It's just a matter of keeping good filing cabinets.
How realistic is it that we can piggyback on? And that'll probably cut our costs a little bit, right?
Yeah, Palmer does have it, and I did not ask them. The representative said that they would ask him. I brought up Wayne Smith as their kind of the liaison for this, so he's their deputy chief. I know him very well. I think if somebody would let us, it would be them. I did not ask them that specifically because we were in the middle of a meeting. I'll actually talk to them tomorrow. There's some other issues I talked to them about. Was we have a small department, whether it be 1, 3, 5, 7 guys, you have to get trained regardless. Each department has to. So say a part-time works at, you're not going to find anybody that's going to work just here that doesn't work someplace else. So if they get qualified at Palmer Township and they're a part-timer there or a full-timer, they have to get qualified here, like with a pistol or not CPR. That works for everybody, but they have to be qualified with say just a pistol. So I asked Wayne Smith, how do we do that? Like, do we train one person like me? I would never ever do any work if I was doing taser training, CPR, first aid, qualifications. And that was his suggestion. The only other thing we can do is have a friendly similar agreement or have them bill us. So that's the discussions I've had this week with them. He seems to think they can do it on an agreement. That'll only last so long. They're going to let you use them for so long. If it was us, if you think about us, if we were the big department, would you let Palmer just piggyback onto us and take our manpower away and train them for free? It's going to get old. So I think we can start with the paper. I just went backwards and literally, I've gone so far backwards, I can't find a department that has paper. So I went through old state police things and was able to obtain a couple reports that seemed to cover the basics. And the good thing is that I do know how to navigate through that. That's where I'm at this week. The other issues that we talked about purchasing some things like, say, tasers, for instance, they can arrive in 3 or 4 days. You still have to be certified on them, and I don't know how it would work to be, because I'm certified on them next to work. So most of the guys that have been interested in working here are also certified somewhere else, but I don't think we should purchase them. Now we're getting closer. Say it was 2 months from now, but I don't think we should have purchased them 3 months ago and then have a warranty on them for 5 years and you've eaten up 4 months, 5 months of warranty when you didn't use them at all. Or the contract with them. What else?
Well,
There's a lot of
you're
supplies.
still authorized to purchase them when you're ready.
Okay, the biggest issue I think we have right now with the building though, well, is the computers and also some place to store evidence that's secure. So we talked about the basement. I gotta look at that with the mayor, that it's not accessible by somebody else. So I just don't know how accessible that is. Because the fire company has their boards in there. So if they're accessible to that, that's totally gonna ruin that. I just don't know how secure it is. The mayor thinks it should be all right, but I have to look.
It's double locked.
Because you do know there's going to be people that would be a huge issue. I don't expect to have a ton of. Stockertown and Tabby uses a large bathroom, like a oversized, what do I call like a parlor in your home. It's like an oversized. It's not a a huge bathroom, but it's a small, that's what they actually use, they have shelving units in it, and they're about the same size, population-wise. You know, they've been in business for years, but you need a receiving locker that's secure to put things in overnight if someone's not there, and then the next day everything is processed into evidence, and then someplace to keep it secure. So I think that's probably our next obstacle, like the most immediate obstacle for out there, that would be it. I don't know how to solve that unless trying it out and then come up with some alternate.
Well, we could, just a suggestion, and I think you brought it up originally, was a lockbox, like a very small trailer, like what do they call those, pods?
Right.
About that size, and it doesn't have to be at the police station, right? As long as, it could be, like something that small could be put into, say, the public works garage and locked with the seal, right?
I would think so. I mean, it makes it a little bit cumbersome to go back and forth.
Yeah.
But it's not, we're not far away. It's not like it's impossible.
Yeah.
And I don't see any reason why. What I would probably do is ask the district attorney if they felt, that's a local rule issue, if they felt that was, say, they don't question the state police because they have a huge system and the bank account's bigger. But I think when you're dealing with a different venue like we have here, I can't see it. We promise that's secure, and I think there's gonna be cameras down there, is that right?
Eventually, yeah.
That would add to the argument to use that. We just need to come up with something in the meantime. It has to be a receiving locker. I got a lot of the regulations done, but it has to be a receiving locker, because not everybody, only one or two people should have access to the evidence room itself. I call it a room, but it could be a final resting place for evidence until it's disposed of. So you need something to put it into in the meantime, basically like a mailbox that's secured, and the next day the receiving officer, as soon as practical, comes in, takes that out, and puts it into the full-time evidence locker.
Oh, yeah, at one of our meetings, you were talking about a small locker.
I found a bunch,
Yeah.
especially with school getting out, there's a lot of places selling them, and they look brand new. Like I tried to find them at Wilson and see if they got to get rid of things. They don't have anything right now. But there's some online that are, I mean, literally $100 that would have like 9 lockers. If we have 9 pieces of evidence in a day, we have major issues here. Major pieces that would make it straight in. That would be 9 pieces that didn't make it straight in when I wasn't there. So that's another, probably that would be a reasonable size.
How are you doing on operation manuals and procedures?
This is about, I just printed these up. This is the uniform traffic regulations that match up pretty well with the complication. And this, I put it on a disk and then a thumb drive, but this is probably, there's 7 of these. So I just need to, if Kurt was up with the computers next week, I just need to really print them. There's probably 6 of these binders. I mean, full. And I can't, that's basically what any department has. Maybe 3 or 4 of them. I might be a little overkill on some of them, but I'm taking from other departments, so it's not easy, but you have to, you do like we talked, you have to have something behind this, because there are people who are going to challenge what we're doing.
Thank you.
This is the most cumbersome of all the things. I think the other thing is we just have to ask, I'm not sure how long we're out, but we'd ask, I'm looking at Steve, but we just have to ask that there's a department first. We make a proclamation that there's a department first, and then I come second. Does that sound right?
Right, but we can do them simultaneously.
Okay.
The issue would be when we're ready to get up and live. That's when you come to us and say, I'm ready to get up and live within 30 days, 60 days, a week, whatever it may be.
All right.
Then we can get everything in motion.
Do you think we do it at the same time, then I think we're looking a little better.
Good.
It's a lot. There's so much more. Like literally, there's hours of conversation. I'm not kidding. It's overwhelming. My car's turned into a storage facility, like a filing cabinet.
So we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, no, we're not far. We really are. This regulations, I'm really honestly giving in and going to paper. You would think that's easy. It's actually the opposite. To go to paper is actually 100% opposite. I can't believe I'm saying that because I wasn't happy when we switched to automated reports and the CAD system, but I see now how efficient it is. If someone was to subpoena a report, or like the way we're going about this now, the only way to get it done sooner it could take hours just to obtain the report, make a copy of it, supply it, make sure it's legal. Like some of the regulations, I specifically mentioned that some approval should be obtained to release reports, should go through the council or through, some may be, say we were involved in something that one of us could be a litigant. It should go through, Steve. I'm sorry, because I was saying Zuzi, but I'll say it wrong. But, it should go through the solicitor. And I mentioned that specifically, and found, the correct wording through other departments. So it's cumbersome.
Do you think safety committee should have a meeting to go over anything you require, like maybe,
I think we have to at least schedule one.
we should schedule it?
Yeah, I believe we should.
Couple weeks?
Yeah. I'm trying to, school's out tomorrow, same with my sons. So I'm trying to work something out with them to go somewhere in a couple days. So if we push it out, a couple weeks, I think we should be good.
Okay, so that would put it, well, you don't want it the week of July 4th, do you?
Are you good the week before that?
Well, it's only going to give you, hold on a second.
How about July 1st?
Yeah, you want to do July 1st? Or even July, and we got to cancel the 8th. Yeah, the 1st, 2nd, July, or you got something going on that week?
I don't know.
But you know what, what's convenient for you? You give me a date. Last week of June?
So for some reason, I put one of my son's events in and put a start date and then an end date out like weeks. So it shows up every day. So I'm trying to figure out where that starts. I apologize.
Probably the first day you start.
It looks like it, but I thought it'd be that easier. It doesn't. I keep calling back. So what is it? How does it end up for this? The 27th?
27th is okay with me.
Dave, is that what you said, didn't you?
Not bad day.
No good for you? Any time during the day, or?
No, I work in that night.
Oh, okay. 27th isn't good. How about 28th?
What? 25th. That's a Friday.
20? That's a Tuesday.
The 28th is Friday.
25th?
28th is a Friday.
Or 28th is a Friday.
25th is a Tuesday? Is that
25th is a Tuesday, yeah.
Is that all right?
That's what mine said.
No, I'm saying, is it all right?
It's okay with me. How about
Yeah, 25th?
25th?
I could do 25th, I think that'd be good.
Yeah, because I'd like you to, because you're going to take over that committee. You're going to talk to Paul. That's it, all right?
Okay.
25th at, what time did we say? What time did we say?
We did. Earlier's probably better. Earlier's probably better, whatever earliest.
Okay, but, I'm good anytime. I'm unemployed after school's out.
Kind of that too.
The teachers, so as well.
Home by 4:30-ish, so.
Okay. Anytime after 5 or after?
4:35, good, 5.
5? Were you want
It's
to?
cutting it close.
5.
5:30?
A little softer, yeah, 5 would probably be better.
Okay.
So 5:30.
5:30?
No,
5.
I'm trying to hear.
No, he said 5. He said 5 was fine.
5 o'clock?
5's good,
Okay.
5:30 is better, but 5 is good.
I'll off for you.
All right, anything else, public safety?
Do you need that at 5?
I think he said 5. 5:30 would be better, he said, but I think he's got it at 5.
So, I mean, the job's new, so we have to do things on a schedule, so I'm still not really sure.
I mean, if you want to do 5:30, I'm fine with that too. I mean, if you want to give yourself more time.
We can do 5.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you very much. Legal committee, I had a meeting scheduled for the 21st and the 28th, and we were unable to make the meetings. And since we're in reorganization, I'm not going to do anything right now. Utilities? Pete?
Nothing to report, no meeting scheduled for June.
Okay. Rec? It's Jeff's. So you're the only sitting member on the rec committee.
I'm gonna cancel for the month.
That's on that too. I like that.
The key is committee members, they go to a time or a day, so.
Grant, that's easy to cancel. Grants?
Yeah, grants, let's go over the, everybody should have a site construction opinion of probable cost from Barry Isaac. All right, what this involves is, if you aren't aware, we got a 46, if you turn that page over, by the way, Joan explained this a lot better. We got a $46,091 LSA grant for phase 2 of the Public Works Garage. Now, what we suggest is that we take that grant and use it as a matching grant for another grant that's a dollar for dollar match. So we're suggesting taking the $46,000, putting it as a match for another $46,091, which will bring us to, was that 92,000 something in grant money. To complete phase 2, if you turn the page back over, the phase 2 would cost a total of $112,700 estimated, which would mean that we could get all that work done for about $16,600 of our own general fund money. Now, in doing that, it would put phase 2 into the year 2020, because we'll apply for it this year. It would be awarded in the end of the year.
November.
Yeah, November, and then we could start phase 2 in 2020, which would include gas service lines, water service lateral, sewer service lateral, electric, the cement floor. A lot of that work, we need to get a certificate of occupancy.
We get legally.
Yes.
That's good. For 16.
But our money would be about $16,000 after everything's said and done.
Which we have committed funds for anyway.
It would just delay phase 2, 6 months or so.
So
But for $46,000, you're not going to get much done in that building anyway.
do we need to move? Do we need to?
I would make the motion now so that we can put in, so that we can put in for the, to use the money as a match.
And we have to, you would have to sign a letter stating
Yeah.
that council has committed, will commit $16,609 of our own money to the
So
fund.
which we already got 20,000 budgeted for anyway.
Right, and that was 2019, and this will be 2020, so we can just.
So everybody understand your motion is to
Move ahead to use the $46,091 LSA grant as a match for a county grant.
CIPP.
What is it?
CIPP.
CIPP. Our commitment is $16,609.
Right.
So, or not to exceed $20,000.
Well, we should do the grant, probably the grant first, and then the letter of, right?
We have to commit.
We're gonna do the grant first. Do we want it, basically we're asking ourselves, do we want to use the money as a match?
All right.
Okay? So that's my motion. $46,091 LSA grant, used as a match for the CIPP grant of the same amount.
All right. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Does everybody understand?
I got a question. If you can apply for $50,000, you might as well apply for the $50,000 because you can get $4,000 more for $2,000.
Oh, well, you know what, you're right, Dan, that's actually the 12,000, or the 16,000 you put up that, thank you. That's how we arrived at 16,000 our own money. Yeah, let me, change that motion, that we're going to, how would I word this? We're gonna use the 46,091 LSA grant plus, $3,909. Don't make fun of me, teacher.
I was talking about
Of our own money, to obtain a $50,000 CIPP grant.
All right, that's your motion.
That's my motion.
All right, now we just second that motion.
I'll second.
Now everybody understands what we're doing. Okay, any more discussion on the motion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. And then we need to commit.
Letter of commitment for the, I don't know, up to what, the 13,000?
She said 16.
Oh, 16.
Total, you have another stuff, but the only thing is, I don't know how strict you have to be with this,
Well,
if you ever leak.
Now we've only got 112.
Right, but with the other grant, they wanted the windows, or we wanted the little this or the little that, so do we, I guess we could just make a separate motion when that time comes. Right?
Yeah.
We would put more, okay.
So letter of commitment for up to,
Well, letter of commitment has to say we're gonna use 16,609 of our own.
okay.
Okay. So letter of commitment for 16,609 of our own money.
Right.
Committed to this. All right. So I have a motion on the floor. Need a second? Second? I'll second. Okay. Any discussion on our letter? It's just a commitment letter. It's all based on this grant. Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Anything else? Meetings?
No, I don't think we need to have a meeting. Do we, John?
No, I'm trying to close out the grants, but that doesn't affect me or anything like that.
Do not have any unfinished business from last meeting. Any unfinished business? Any new business?
I have one thing I forgot.
Okay.
During a council meeting, I had to excuse myself to get a telephone call. I think it was at the end of Jamie's presentation here. I got a call from the 911 center saying there was a tree down on East Street. So I called the emergency management coordinator to put up barricades. So you might want to avoid East Street.
Where on the street?
Pardon?
Where on the street?
Probably between 3rd and 4th, I think they said. So he went up to check it and put barricades up.
Did you reach Bill?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Any additional public comment?
I got one question. Is there any legal limit on the number of right-to-know requests that an individual can submit to a